OU students plan a day of action protest amidst COVID-19 surge. Fencing around the U.S. Capitol returns, and Governor Stitt clashes with the Department of Education after demanding an audit. This is OU Nightly. Hello, thanks for joining us for OU Nightly. I'm Alyse Jones.
And I'm Kolby Terrell. We begin with 1 in 500 people in the U.S. have died from COVID-19.
The Oklahoma Department of Health reports over 2,000 new cases in the state. That brings the active cases to around 17,000, and as of today, 9,701 Oklahomans have died from COVID-19. About 45% of Oklahomans are fully vaccinated, while 55% have at least one dose. And amidst the rise in cases, ME Labs plans to reopen their free drive-through COVID testing. Several testing locations will be located throughout the metro.
The FDA's vaccine advisors are set to vote on Friday whether or not to officially recommend Pfizer's COVID-19 booster shots. Days after Biden announced his aggressive 6-point COVID-19 plan, he's meeting with leaders from some of the world's top corporations. They discuss vaccine and testing requirements for the country's workforce.
The Labor Department is working on an emergency rule to require all employers with 100 or more workers to ensure their workers are fully vaccinated and regularly tested. And it's going to take a little bit for them to put those requirements in place under the law.
Companies that don't comply could face thousands of dollars in fines per employee.
The fence around the Capitol came down nearly 2 months ago, but now Capitol security ramps up again. Purpura has the story and the rest of today's headlines from around the world.
Thanks, Alyse. One of the most accessible public buildings in D.C. is now surrounded by a chain-link fence ahead of a Saturday rally. The Capitol expects up to 700 people at the Justice for J6 rally in support of the people arrested at the January 6th insurrection. Security officials were unprepared to handle the crowd in January, but this time they are taking extra safety measures. Additionally, TSA is taking extra measures and airports and the National Guard will be standing by. A high-profile lawyer is facing felony charges after hiring a shooter to take his life. Alex Murdaugh paid to be shot in the head so that his son would collect the $10 million insurance payout, but the shooter only grazed his head. Murdaugh's defense attorney claims the man became deeply depressed after was abusing drugs after discovering the bodies of his murdered wife and son in June. Murdaugh's charges include conspiracy to commit insurance fraud, and filing a false police report. Migrants at the U.S.-Mexico border cannot be expelled after a judge blocked a public health order. Recently, evidence suggested migrants may be causing COVID surges near the border, so the Biden administration ordered that adults and families should be turned away. The judge stated there are enough other measures to mitigate the spread of COVID-19 besides turning people away. The order would not take effect for another 2 weeks, but this block will likely make this order not occur at all. Finally, some news from our northern border. The Moderna vaccine has been approved for people 12 and older in Canada. Thanks, and back to the desk.
Governor Kevin Stitt is requesting an audit of the Oklahoma State Department of Education. Stitt's request came after evidence of a misuse of funds in an earlier audit from Epic Charter Schools. Stitt has received backlash from the state superintendent, who claimed the audit request was an attack on the Oklahoma public education system.
Now, I've noticed the mornings are getting a little bit cooler, but the afternoons are still pretty hot.
Peyton Galyean is live with a look at the forecast. Peyton, is the heat going to stick around?
I'm Peyton Galyean, live on the Gaylord balcony. It is another sunny day across Oklahoma with a few clouds in the sky, but across the rest of the state, high 80s, low 90s, and coming up in the main weather, Emma is going to have more on the cold front ahead and your football forecast, along with some warmer temperatures.
Thanks, Peyton. A local shelter is opening a new campus near Main Street.
Find out how they'll be using that campus to help families in need.
Plus, a toy company is working to inspire young women with their doll line.
And their newest release is aimed at the music industry. When we return.
I am a leader of future creative professionals. Advertising is a way a brand communicates to its audience. Businesses reach out to us constantly to make that possible. We are the source to facilitate communication. To be a resource, you have to think beyond yourself. I'm always asking, how can I help an entity achieve its fullest potential?
I am more than just a student. I am a molder of young minds. As an undergrad, Gaylord trained me as a writer. Now, as a master's student, I'm learning to impact others. Writers never stop writing. We are always learning and observing. I'm constantly taking in the world around me to build a better narrative. As a teacher, I hope to help my students do the same.
I am more than just a student. I rise to the possibilities of the future. It started with a media entrepreneurship class, which sparked an idea. That led to my own business. By itself, technology is just a tool, but add ambition, creativity, and motivation, that's a platform to start an enterprise. Now, I see the world through a different lens. I take tradition and I build upon it. The possibilities, they're endless. Where do I go from here? At the moment, up.
This is you at OU. What will you learn? How will you excel? What path will you lead? Who will you impact? What will you do at OU?
Last week, the city took a step towards building a facility dedicated to helping those in need. OU Nightly's Jessie Klinger has more.
A new campus is becoming a reality for Food and Shelter as of last week. On Thursday, the Norman Planning Commission approved the zoning request for the new food and resource facility.
We realized really in 2019 we needed a freestanding food pantry and started looking at these models called food and resource centers that combine not only just the food but also meet the holistic needs of the families who come there.
The new resource center has been zoned to be built here on East Reed Avenue, a little bit south of Main Street, and will function as a free grocery store for those in need and also work to reduce food waste.
We really had begun to plan for and dream about building a food and resource center in 2019, and then COVID happened. And we, like many organizations, turned our attention to just surviving, just helping people survive.
Since the COVID-19 pandemic began, the number of food pantry visitors has drastically increased as families lost their jobs. In addition to providing food, the organization is dedicated to helping those struggling families get back on their feet.
So the dream for this building is that somebody comes in and they need access to food. They need to be able to shop for their own food and take home the items that they know their family's going to eat, or maybe they have a culturally specific diet, and we can better meet their needs in the Food and Resource Center.
Food and Shelter is hopeful that the construction process for the new facility will break ground before the end of the year. Jessie Klinger, OU Nightly.
If you're looking to help, you can donate on the Food and Shelter website.
If you have a trip planned to New York City anytime soon, you're in for a treat. Deyton can tell you why and has more from around the entertainment world.
Thanks, Alyse. The lights are shining a little brighter in New York City after the announcement that Broadway is back. Theaters are reopening their doors after the longest shutdown in Broadway history. On Tuesday, some of the Broadway's biggest shows made their way back to the stage with fully vaccinated audiences. Hamilton creator Lin-Manuel Miranda received a standing ovation as he entered the stage on opening night. Proof of vaccination and masks are required to attend the shows. Angelina Jolie visited the White House on Wednesday to discuss reauthorizing the Violence Against Women Act. The act creates programs in support and response to survivors of sexual assault, domestic violence, and stalking, but it expired more than 2 years ago. Jolie met with White House officials along with Press Secretary Jen Psaki, who later tweeted that they spoke about the importance of continuing to fight for women, children, and families around the world. And Barbie has released a music producer doll to highlight the gender gap in the music industry. The collaboration is part of the Barbie Dream Gap Project, an effort to encourage girls to get involved in careers where women are underrepresented. The toy maker Mattel partnered with singer-songwriter Esther Dean, who says that women make up less than 3% of music producers in the industry, and she wants change. The music producer doll has been named Barbie's Career of the Year figure to empower the next generation of female artists. And that's it from entertainment. Alyse and Kolby, back to you.
Sports fans, get ready for this weekend's coverage of the big game.
One major network plans to tape their pregame show at a local bar.
Plus, Emma Landeros has a look at the weather for this weekend's festivities. Emma?
Yeah, if you plan on headed out to the Oklahoma State Fair, which started today, I'll have that and more all after the break.
Young minds. As an undergrad, Gaylord trained me as a writer. Now, as a master's student, I'm learning to impact others. Writers never stop writing. We are always learning and observing. I'm constantly taking in the world around me to build a better narrative. As a teacher, I hope to help my students do the same.
Being a freshman in college, I really don't know what to expect. There are so many paths ahead of me. But where am I supposed to go from here? Walking through the halls of Gaylord, I get a sense that big things are happening, a feeling of opportunity. I've been told that this is a place where I can be more than just a student. What does that really mean? I'm excited to find out.
I am more than just a student. I am a voice to be heard. Words are a powerful tool. With them, we make people laugh, think, and see the world from a different perspective. But words are ineffective without amplification. We ask the question, why should someone listen to us? With any topic, you need to find an effective way to present it. Something creative, something entertaining. Pair that with technology, and our words can impact the world.
This is you at OU. What will you learn? How will you excel? What path will you lead? Who will you impact? What will you do at OU?
And welcome back to OU Nightly. Right now our skyline cam is showing low 90s overall, feeling pretty great. We're seeing mostly cloudy conditions overall. We were seeing a bit more of that cloud coverage, but we're starting to see a little bit more of that sunshine. Now, today is the first day of the Oklahoma State Fair, so if you're not there right now, by tonight, it is going to be in those 80s. It's going to feel pretty nice, but if you can't make it tonight, want to go tomorrow or even on Saturday, just plan on staying in those low 90s overall with some nice calm winds. A little bit more of that cloud coverage will make its way into our area by Saturday, so keep that in mind. But again, mostly sunny conditions, staying fairly dry, and that's because according to the Climate Prediction Center, for the next 8 to 14 days, we are just going to see dry conditions overall, not much in precipitation for us, and that is again going to lead on into what I really want to talk about, which is fall weather. Now, I am a big fan of fall, and fall is coming on Wednesday, and this is what we're tracking right now. This cold front is going to make its way slowly into our area by around Tuesday night into early hours on Sunday. Check this out. To wake up, fall is just going to hit us in the face with temperatures in those 50s, right around 6:30, staying at 53, and pretty much for the remainder of your day. On Wednesday, even on Thursday morning, waking up still feeling in like those 50s. It's going to feel very cool and very much like fall, and that's a type of weather that I like to see. But when you think of fall, you also think of football, and if you plan on headed out tomorrow, the game starts at 11, not tomorrow, Saturday. I'm getting a little excited for myself. We are going to be in those 90s with some nice easterly winds overall, and that's really going to help us into the next few days, so keep that in mind. Game is on Saturday, and we are going to see those conditions again, tracking that cold front that's going to drop those highs into those low 80s. So Kolby and Alyse, I'd honestly grab those sweater weather.
Thanks, Emma. Your morning cup of coffee could start to cost you more as global coffee prices are on the rise.
OU Nightly's Devin Field has more on how this could affect local coffee shops.
Coffee prices are at their highest they have been in 4 years, pushing the cost of beans up almost 43% in 2021. For Second Wind Coffee House, a nonprofit organization here in Norman, a price increase in coffee beans could send them struggling for money. Director of the shop, Bailey Tassie, says she doesn't want to see them back in the same place they were last year.
So last year, because of COVID, we had a lot of money issues with Second Wind, just not starting off the year right, and like not even being able to afford like basic things like our cups and sleeves and coffee. So we had to apply for like a ton of grants specifically for those things. So like PPE, cups, sleeves, and then a big one was applying for a grant to just pay for our coffee, because we spend about, I want to say, at least $600 to $700 every 2 weeks, every month on coffee.
But for big retailers like Starbucks, a surge in coffee prices won't make much of a difference. In July, the coffee chain raised prices by up to 30 cents on some drinks, but can avoid raising prices significantly due to their purchasing strategy.
I would always want to support local businesses around the Norman area, just because I know that people's like livelihoods depend on that. But I think for bigger like chain companies like Starbucks, if the prices continue to go up in those kinds of places, I won't want to get coffee from there.
The Wall Street Journal reports the average cost of a coffee is about $4.50. 5 years ago, it was $3.85. Devin Field, OU Nightly.
Global coffee consumption is expected to exceed production this year for the first time since 2017.
Fox Big Noon Kickoff is in Norman this weekend as OU hosts Nebraska. The Oklahoma Sooners are playing their longtime rival for the first time in 11 years. With all the hype around the game, Campus Corner bars, restaurants, and stores are coming together to host the Huskers. Sideline Bar and Grill has their own event in mind to give a Norman welcome to the Big Noon Kickoff team.
And we have our patio rented out by Fox Sports. It's going to be VIP back there. They're going to have tables. They're going to film their show live. They're going to be introducing a new food item that we're rolling out. And they're also going to be announcing a new NIL deal that we have signed this week with some OU players.
This event is open to the public from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. tomorrow. All ages are welcome to show the Fox team what Norman is made of.
And this Saturday, an old rivalry revives. Stone Weber has the preview for this week's OU-Nebraska game. Stone?
That's right. It's going down this weekend at the Palace on the Prairie as Nebraska comes to town, and OU Golf made a statement at the Merito tournament. Sports is next.
I am more than just a student. I set the rhythm for my own success. At a young age, I knew what I wanted to do. Coming to college provided me opportunities to grow a business. Here, I can combine creativity, advertising, networking, all to reach my audience through sound. I am passionate about creating the soundtrack for the next generation.
This is you at OU. What will you learn? How will you excel? What path will you lead? Who will you impact? What will you do at OU?
I am more than just a student. I am a voice to be heard. Words are a powerful tool. With them, we make people laugh, think, and see the world from a different perspective. But words are ineffective without amplification. We ask the question, why should someone listen to us? With any topic, you need to find an effective way to present it. Something creative, something entertaining. Pair that with technology, and our words can impact the world.
I am more than just a student. I am a reporter of truth and a combator of ignorance. The Founding Fathers set the precedents for us to follow. As a journalist, I have two jobs: keeping an eye on the systems we have in place and making sure that voices in the community are heard. As an editor, I want to inspire my staff to create great stories and to do the best journalism possible.
I see a talented football team. I mean, I see a quarterback that can run, throw, do it all.
I'm Stone Weber, and it's time for your sports. We're now 2 days away from the renewal of one of college football's greatest rivalries. It's the Oklahoma Sooners and the Nebraska Cornhuskers. It's been 50 years since the game of the century and 11 years since these two teams have last met. These two teams meet in Norman for the first time since 2008. And although head coach Lincoln Riley believes the Cornhuskers are as good as ever, the video doesn't lie.
I see a talented football team. I mean, I see a quarterback that can run, throw, do it all. I see really good offensive skill. They're big, strong, in the trenches, kind of like what you would expect. Again, I see a secondary that's played a lot of ball, has crazy good length. So, I mean, I see a talented football team. Now, is that better or worse than what they've had before? I can't speak to that, but there's some good football players, a lot of them, when I turn on that tape.
And the 21-22 Big 12 Conference basketball schedule was released, and we now have some key matchups for both the OU men's and women's team. The women's team opens the season up January 2nd when they take a trip to Lubbock to play the Red Raiders in Coach Baranzic's Sooner debut. Meanwhile, Porter Moser's squad hits the LNC on November 9th against Northwestern State. Coming off of a sweep against Abilene Christian, OU volleyball gears up for their final matchup before heading into conference play. Freshman Megan Wilson led the way with 20 kills in the win over ACU and looks to propel the now 5-5 Sooners over the SMU Mustangs tonight in Dallas. And the men's golf team pulled off an amazing comeback yesterday at the Merrido tournament. The Sooners erased a 10-stroke deficit over the final 13 holes. The most amazing shot of the day came from Chris Gotterup, who chipped in from off the green for a birdie at the 8th hole. OU soccer returns home after a tough two-game road trip. The Sooners were shut out against NC State 5-0 and lost a close one to the Virginia Cavaliers 2-1. The ladies take the field tonight against Utah Valley with kickoff at 7. It's NFC East football tonight as former Sooners Sterling Shepard and the New York Giants travel to D.C. to take on the Washington football team. The Giants won both meetings last year and are looking for some of that momentum after an 0-1 start. Kickoff is tonight at 7:20 on Fox and the NFL Network. Groundbreaking news on the announcer side of sports as the Milwaukee Bucks named Lisa Byington their team's television play-by-play commentator. Byington is the first female full-time TV play-by-play announcer for a major men's professional sports team. She was also the first woman play-by-play announcer to call a Big Ten Network football game. And an unusual ejection took place last night at Camden Yards in the O's game against the Yankees. In a close game in the top of the 9th with a score of 3-2 Orioles, umpire Tim Timmons stops the game and begins the ejection motion. And of all people it's pointing to, he's looking at the grounds crew. This comes back to bite Timmons in the crew as just minutes later, rain begins to pour onto the field. Now guys, I'm not sure why the grounds crew was ejected from the game, but you have to have them out there if there's any potential for bad weather. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Stone. Wisconsin residents witnessed an unusual traffic jam recently.
When we come back, we'll tell you all about their furry surprise.
I am more than just a student. I am a voice to be heard. Words are a powerful tool. With them, we make people laugh, think, and see the world from a different perspective. But words are ineffective without amplification. We ask the question, why should someone listen to us? With any topic, you need to find an effective way to present it. Something creative, something entertaining. Pair that with technology, and our words can impact the world.
I am more than just a student. I set the rhythm for my own success. At a young age, I knew what I wanted to do. Coming to college provided me opportunities to grow a business. Here, I can combine creativity, advertising, networking, all to reach my audience through sound. I am passionate about creating the soundtrack for the next generation.
I'm more than just a student.
I'm a mirror up to society. Often people will watch a difficult story and then just turn away. I want others to see what people are going through, to understand the issues, and hopefully relate. Here we've been given the foundation and knowledge. Now it's up to us to build upon it, to find and tell the stories that interest us. Digital media provides the freedom to cultivate those compelling stories. We can take an audience places, meet people, and shine a light on their lives. And once we're there, pose a question that demands an answer.
I am more than just a student. I am a reporter of truth and a combator of ignorance. The Founding Fathers set the precedents for us to follow. As a journalist, I have two jobs: keeping an eye on the systems we have in place and making sure that voices in the community are heard. As an editor, I want to inspire my staff to create great stories and to do the best journalism possible.
I'm Jayden Brannon at the OU Nightly Update Desk. President Biden announced a historical security project with the United Kingdom and Australia. The trilateral project is in place to ensure peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific region. He states that a free and open Indo-Pacific region is critical to the security and prosperity of the American people. These partnerships will help defend the interest of the U.S. for generations. Back to you in the studio.
Well, Alyse, usually if you hear hooves, you think horses, right?
I do, but residents in Wisconsin say to think again.
I'm right outside of Seymour. There's a couple of zebras walking down the middle of the road. And if you think I'm kidding, I'm not.
The local sheriff's office found the zebra's owner, and they quickly rounded up the pair.
And it looks like the zebras took advantage of the nice weather out there. But what weather can we expect here this weekend, Emma?
Honestly, there's nothing but great weather. I can't even decide what to look forward to. We've got football season on Saturday. We have Oklahoma State Fair, and we also have the first day of fall hanging in there, slowly approaching us on Wednesday. Now, for the remainder of your week, even into the weekend, just expect those low 90s. So it is going to be warm with those sunny conditions and some calm winds. But again, if you are a fan of that cooler weather, just hang in there a few more days, because we are tracking our next really strong cold front that's going to make its way into our area. We're thinking Tuesday, that's when we have our highest chance to see any form of rain. But again, check that out. 91 is a high on Tuesday. By then, almost 10-degree change on Wednesday. 81 is that high. And we're also seeing lows in those low 50s. So waking up Wednesday and Thursday, probably grab a sweater. It's honestly crazy to think that, considering today was just such a lovely and warm day. And by this time next week, probably grab the sweater, the long sleeve shirt. At least that's what I'm gonna do. I am more of a fall gal myself, so I'm not sure if you guys are looking forward to that as well.
Well, it looks like we still have the better part of a week before we get that cold front, but it makes me look forward to it for sure.
Oh, I am so excited. The sweaters, the football weather, it's going to be the absolute best. It is the best time of the year.
Just in time for the State Fair. I know it started today, but we got a week of this hot left, and then we'll get State Fair temps that we really want.
State Fair and football season
yeah.
and sweater weather all at once. I cannot complain.
Well, we want to say thank you for watching OU Nightly.
Be sure to tune in every weekday at 4:30.
Have a good night.